Hey, what's up? It's Thursday, I'm Casey, and you're watching the Babybeaverbunch. I don't know if you can tell, but this is not the first time I've dressed up in drag at all. I've done it quite a few times now, and then gone out in public just because it's kind of fun, and for occasions. I've done it for Rocky Horror, I did it for a birthday party, and I've done it just because. Yeah, not the first time. My facial hair, when it's drawn on, it usually looks better in real life. Right now, it looks really bad because I had to draw it really heavy for it to register on the camera. But um, usually it actually looks kind of convincing, really convincing. All right, so I would try and fake my voice for the rest of the video, but it I don't think I could hold it for that long. So I'll just use my regular voice and talk to you guys. This week, as you know, our topics are talking about gender identity and whether or not, the question is whether or not we would date a trans woman. For the question, I probably would not, just because there's so many, it's so complicated. It's the point that like transcends the lines, really, that makes things confusing. It seems like it'd be kind of just difficult, like knowing. Just I wouldn't know a lot of stuff because it's so different. It's completely different, and that would probably scare me away from it. I'm not saying I never would, because I might. I just, for the most part, probably not. Especially if I could tell their biological sex, like what they were born as originally. Um, but if I couldn't tell, like if I seriously thought that if I didn't realize they were trans um, beforehand, I might. Uh, Actually, I probably would. If it was one of those cases where I couldn't even tell, I would. Um, it'd still be weird. It'd still be something really different and new, but I'd be far more likely to try it. As for my gender identity, oh, that's kind of weird. As for my gender identity, I identify as female in public because that is what makes the most sense. However, in my mind, I don't necessarily think like, oh yeah, I'm female, I'm a girl, I'm whatever. But I also am not transgendered in that I also don't think that I'm a boy. There are sometimes when I feel more like either one. There are sometimes when I feel more like a boy. There are sometimes when I feel more like a girl. Almost always, though, it's not something that I think about. It's not something that registers as even really having a gender. I feel like I'm somewhere in between. I dress, you can tell that, you know I'm female, obviously. I have, like, long hair, and I dress, I wear women's clothing, even though it's not particularly feminine. I usually wear, like, sweatshirts and jeans. Um, since I've been getting older, I do dress feminine sometimes, but it's more just because I like the way it looks than that it feels feminine. Like when I wear something, I don't think, oh, I feel so feminine right now. I just am like, oh, that looks kind of nice. So it's also another question that's difficult because I don't feel like I fall into either half of the binary. Um, I feel like I'm just like somewhere in between. Like I'm not I don't particularly identify with either. Like, I don't want to be a boy, but at the same time, I don't really feel like a girl. I don't feel like a boy. I just feel like a person. I just feel like me, and gender identity is such a like crazy, confusing thing to figure out. Like, it's something that I have no idea. I haven't thought too much about my gender identity because it's something that's just I don't think about being either one, so I don't think about it a lot. Um, it's funny that today, or this week, anyways, this week is Trans Week because I'm doing a project on identity right now for photography, and it's got there's transgender people involved in it, and just identity in general. figuring out who you are, what you are. It's deep questions, and they're not questions that can really be answered completely because you can't define, you can't define this kind of stuff. It's crazy. What do you guys think? Do you think I look more attractive as a girl or a boy?